Okay, I just finished cleaning the painting, which makes it much better, clear, especially in this part. Um, Before you couldn't even see the colors. Now you can see, and you can see even the details. The same in this part of the painting. So yeah, it looks better. And yeah, so finally the project is finished. Um, it was long. I think it was almost 4 months, like 3.5 months. Yeah, it took a lot of time, but it was very fun. I had a good time painting. Um, yeah, but yeah, it requires a lot of time. You have to pay attention to the details, and so yeah, but at the end it was very entertaining. It helped me to relax and even listening to books while I was painting. So yeah, it was a very nice project, which is now finished. And yep, so I just wanted to share the final product, the way it looks. Unfortunately, yeah, the last color was not available, so I had to create my own color, which I think it worked in some way. It was not the right one, but I think it worked. So I just wanted to share with you how it looked now and some tips, because I bet that someone else will want to paint too, or try to do this project. So I'm not expert, but based on what I have done with this painting, I would like to share with you some tips. First of all, I think you would, if you want to paint and you have never painted, maybe you would like to try or to start with something easier, not like this so complex. And I'm not saying that you cannot do it. It will take a lot of time. It will be hard. It will be a bit hard. So I prefer that if you start, I would say that you will start with something simpler than this. But if you want challenge, you can do it. It's okay too. You can try. You need to have a lot of commitment, because this will take a lot of time. I think even 1 hour per day, or maybe in the weekend, maybe you can do a lot of progress. But I wouldn't suggest that you paint, for instance, today, and then after 10-15 days you continue, because the paint, the color itself, dries very fast. So I would suggest that maybe if you use the color and you finish the color, you add a bit of water until the next time you want to use it. Because if you want to paint for 1 day and then continue the next day, maybe you can add a bit of water, like 1 drop of water. The paint dries very fast, so I wouldn't suggest to take so long. And especially if you have the same problem that I had, that I always miss some little dots or little spaces, and then I have to go back and paint again. So if that's the case, you don't want to go back and find the color dry. Well, I had the problem with the last color 24, which was dry, completely dry. But considering that I got this painting long ago, more than a year ago, and then after more than a year I started painting, the colors, the painting were the paints were okay, no problem. One was very liquid, and the last one was completely dry, maybe because of it was not well sealed. But I would trust that the colors are okay if you buy something like this. What I was doing, I was adding a bit of water like 1 or 2 drops of water directly in the paint, so it was not so dry, because that's what happened here when the color was so dry. This one, the color was so dry because I didn't add water, so it feels rough, not soft like this. But if you put too much water, it will happen this problem. I don't know if it's clear in the video. The color is not balanced, it's not even. So if you put too much water, you will have that problem. The other thing is that the painting comes with 3 brushes. I used the smallest one only. I would suggest that you use the big one if you want to paint this part, so the color will be even. The only problem is once you reach a place like this, maybe you will need a smaller brush, and that means that you have to change, and you will lose some of the paint in the brush. So in my case, I just painted everything with the smallest one, but that took me a lot of time instead of just using a big brush and finishing fast. Another thing, well, ideally I would suggest that you start from the top, going all the way to the bottom, but it's not practical because you will be changing colors, and then, as I said, they dry fast. So yeah, maybe it's not the best, or it's not practical. So just go by numbers. You can start with number 1 and continue number 2, 3, or you can actually paint any color, any number. I did it in order because it's easier to know which is the next color to paint, and also because I was creating videos, so it was easier for me to follow that pattern, that order. Yeah, but you can start with any number if you want. I would suggest also, if you have a art easel, I think is the name, where you can put the canvas in there, and so when you paint, you don't touch the surface, because if not, it's going to happen what happened to me, that the whole surface was very dirty. And what I did, which made it worse, I used like a towel, like a towel paper towel. And what happened is that it started to get stick in the paint. So at the end, all of this part was very dirty. It still look a bit dirty actually, but I cannot clean it more, because if not, the paint will lose. And what happened at the end here, the paint started to like peel in some way. So I would suggest that maybe you use a kind of cloth if you don't want to touch the surface, but if you have an art easel, it will be better. Now the problem is, I think, is that if you're going to paint too many details like these ones, for instance, if it's in there, it will be hard to paint. So that's why I put the painting in the desk, so it was easy for me just to put my hand here. But yeah, I had the problem that it was getting dirty. But it's up to you at the end. Yeah, I think those are the main concern. I have seen people adding having water separated from the paint, so they put a bit of water. Put the brush in the water and then in the paint. What I was doing is adding immediately or directly 1 or 2 drops of water in the paint. So in that case, in that way, I kept it away from getting dry. So yeah, I think those are the main tips I would give. Yeah, as I said, maybe you can, or you want to choose a easier painting, but if you have time, if you have commitment, if you want a challenge, maybe you can get a complex painting like this, because this was very complex. If you can see how many details you will find here. At the end you will notice all the work, so it's like rewarding. So that's it. One last thought, because I thought this was a temple, but actually it's part of a I think it's a palace or something like that. And I have found the original photo. I will show it so you will notice how it looks, because this was originally was a photo and they made it as a painting. So at the beginning I thought these were rocks, but then when I was watching the photo I noticed that those are people. The same around here, I think, yeah, when you see those dots in there, there are people. In here there are some, I think there are more people in there. I think some girls wearing hanbok, maybe I'm wrong the word, but the typical Korean clothes. So yeah, so then I discovered that it was not a temple but part of a kind of a palace or something like that. So that's it. The painting is done. It was fun, and the project is finished after almost 4 months. So I hope that you have enjoyed all the videos in this series. It was fun for me to paint and also to record. It was not easy because trying to record while you're painting was very complex. But it was fun. So I hope that you have liked the whole series, and if you have any doubt about this specific painting or any other doubt about the process, of course you can leave some comments. So thank you very much, and thank you for following me in this amazing project. And yeah, thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next project. I don't know if something like this, similar, but for sure I will be creating more digital content, digital art in the channel in order to upload in the channel. So that's it. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you in the next video.